Welcome to Word on the Block, the series that takes a deeper dive into blockchain and the emerging technologies that shape our world at the intersection of business, politics, and economy. It's what we cover right here on Forkast.News. I'm Editor-in-Chief and your host, Angie Lau. Now, this is a special episode of Word on the Block. This is a companion piece to the Digital Assets Market Report sponsored by AAX and brought to you by Forkast.Insights. So we're taking a look at the global economy, and it certainly has been slowed by COVID-19. What has not slowed, and in fact, what has been speeding up is the digital assets market space. DeFi, stablecoins, commodities, art, real estate, you name it, beyond cryptocurrency alone. And regulators are starting to shift their stance on the digital asset market space as well. So how should we be thinking about the future of finance? What is getting investors out there excited? And what should retail and institutional investors think about as they get into this space? Let's welcome to the show right now AAX CEO Thor Chan. AAX is the digital assets market exchange group that is powered by the London Stock Exchange's trading engine. Thor, welcome to the show.
Yep, thank you. Hello, Angie.
So here's what's interesting that I note. A very interesting statistic, and I want to kick things off here. The global digital asset management market was expected to rise an estimated value of $11.65 billion by 2026. Now, this was according to the Data Bridge market research in July of 2019. That's about a year ago, okay? Since then, we've had COVID-19, but also since then, things have absolutely evolved. In fact, today's total tokenized value of gold, real estate, commodities, currency, actually valued at 18 billion. So we are more than 6 years ahead. We are certainly flying past this prediction that was made about a year ago. It seems like the explosion in stable coins has really changed a lot of these projections. What are you seeing in the market right now?
Yeah, we surely seeing that the global crypto market is growing. More money is actually flooding in, not just because of the COVID-19 and the people do nothing and they're staying home and they can do more crypto trading. Actually, sometimes when the stock market, they are not probably running, and then they go to the crypto market to trade as well. And then and then we are also seeing more and more innovation in this space that like you said, the stablecoin market is growing. We are seeing that more and more stablecoin issued, and then the market cap is growing, and then this is actually a very good indication, because when people they use stablecoin, they use it as the entry tool to buy and sell different kind of digital assets. So the growth of stablecoin is actually has a good signal that the market is growing because of the store. And also we are seeing that recently there are a lot of decentralized finance assets. These kind of tokens are booming crazily, 10 times, 20 times. We are actually kind of seeing the craze of ICO in 2017, and then a lot of previous silent groups that I joined in 2017 and 2018. Suddenly the topics and discussion getting hotter and hotter. So we are actually seeing the very good momentum in the crypto industry, not just for the DeFi asset, but when the whole industry or the whole market looking at the crypto space, and when they see okay, this kind of DeFi assets, they're really cool, and they see the future there. But the big whales or the institutions, they are not putting the money to the DeFi as assets, but they put in money in Ethereum or putting money in Bitcoin. So that's why the innovation in decentralized finance is actually driving the adoption of the major digital assets, Ethereum and Bitcoin as well.
And that's certainly what we're seeing right now. There's just this real huge appetite. It's certainly a new one that we saw emerge last year, and it's really, exploded into this space in 2020. What are the trends that you're actually monitoring right now at AAX? What is it that people are super hungry for and really excited about that you're seeing in terms of liquidity and volumes on your exchange?
Yeah, so for in AX, we still keep looking at the major digital assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then what we see is that now the market from the maybe traditional finance or like people they're very interested in crypto, but previously they only invested in stock market or gold or a forex. Now they are getting more and more interested in crypto. And then so what we monitor is the fiat on and off ramp and how many people they are willing to get their first Bitcoin with their local currency. Say for example in Hong Kong, we are seeing more and more people. They actually wanna, oh, I wanna buy my first Bitcoin. Where should I go? How can I get my first Bitcoin? How can I get what is USDT? Is it? Can you tell me a little bit more about it? So a lot of friends of mine in Hong Kong, they actually asked about how to get their first Bitcoin. So I think the trend that AX is, or this is something our focus is that always see how to get the retail market or this maybe bigger retail users, and then they how they get their first Bitcoin. So this is still the major indicator for us that how we can how we grow the platform. And also I mean right now even like DeFi, decentralized finance, those kind of assets they are very hot. But for the majority of the finance industry or the investor, still this is um, very complex for them. They are still asking the question, how can I get my first Bitcoin? So we really want to
Yeah.
tell them more about a DeFi, but at the same time we don't want to scare them off and they're saying something very complex and just tell them that try Bitcoin. And then once they get their first Bitcoin, get the USDT, they start trading it, and then we will tell them more and more about decentralized DeFi assets. And for some of my friends that they traded stocks a lot. Actually, when they trade the DeFi assets, they said, oh, the liquidity is too thin. And then I just want to buy maybe 500K Hong Kong dollars. But the slippage, if I buy this very famous DeFi asset, and then the slippage is too high that they don't feel comfortable, so they switch to trade. And maybe I just trade Ethereum. So that is why at the beginning I said even the whales or these guys they traded DeFi assets, but at the end of the day, if they look at the market, if they are positive about that, they still go to make Bitcoin, Ethereum.
You make a great point that slippage is something that traditional markets and traditional exchanges have been really disciplined about, and not necessarily is that something that we see in the crypto exchanges or the digital asset exchanges space. I note that what is unique about AAX is the London Stock Exchange trading engine. Can you talk about the slippage or at least the shrinkage of the kind of slippage that we do see in trading transactions?
Yeah, so first, this is an institutional grade technology. So so when we try to build this matching engine and the trading infrastructure with the technologies provided by London Stock Exchange Group technology, actually we want to target to make it like an institutional grade. So it's all about market infrastructure. So we have a very capable matching engine. We have pre and post trade transparency, market surveillance, and proper AML. So with all this, actually, institutional grade is all about attitude and commitment to market integrity. And these are all the conditions to make our trading venue more suitable for institutional investors. When there are more and more institutional investors or these kind of professional traders to come to this space, actually they are providing more liquidity to our platform. And that's why when we try to have more a lot of market maker program, actually we can give them very good technology and infrastructure, and they can come placing orders here and providing very good liquidity. So our liquidity and slippage is actually up to a very tier one standard right now. And then so just give you an indicator, when you try to place an order, maybe 1 million US dollars, we have very insignificant slippage in Bitcoin asset. When I'm talking about Bitcoin spot trading and Bitcoin perpetual contract, and then but well, of course for other digital assets, maybe DeFi assets, probably when you place 1 million US dollars, you probably need to suffer 20 or 30% slippage. So what you can only do is to maybe have a VWAP trading and waiting for exiting your position for that. So like for us, we still focus on the liquidity building for the major assets for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then like with the technologies, we can actually like have these market makers to be able to have a more responsive to the market movement.
Well, having reported on the Asian markets from Hong Kong, that's something that I've been doing for the past decade, and certainly there's a level of sophistication when it comes to even retail investors in Hong Kong. There's just the day-to-day talk of people are as much teachers as they are day traders. Sometimes it feels, and so
Yeah.
as the investor market there in Hong Kong, I mean, operationally, your team is there. As you experience that market, I often feel it is a microcosm of the greater investor pool. What are you seeing within the Hong Kong microcosm of investors and the interest that they quickly get to? First, they buy the Bitcoin, and then it's the stable coin, and then what's next?
Yeah. So Hong Kong is a very mature financial market, and then like I think a lot of like people maybe like me in my age when I studied in university, we started trading stock, and then like so investment is something that like we are very familiar with, and then a lot of users, and then a lot of the people here they I think they've started trading the stock already. So like and then they know the how it works, and then like the return, and then they have like maybe very careful risk appetite. They look at the market. So they are, and at the same time they're very curious about Bitcoin. I think like there are more people, they're looking at the space, and more people in the more media, they talk about Bitcoin here in Hong Kong. And then also we recently we see a lot of advertisements, maybe on the tram station, and on the newspaper cover page, and you see a lot of things talking about Bitcoin. So I think like in the past 2 years, the attitude towards Bitcoin in Hong Kong is actually changed and improved quite a lot. And people they are seeing it as a diversification of their portfolio as well. So like, but if you look at that, like these kind of mature investors, they are actually like when compared to the crypto space, the retail users, they are actually like having more money and more asset and more capital in their portfolio. It's actually like the investment amount and the order size is much bigger than what the crypto retail investor they're trading. I think like they may be 3 times or 5 times bigger. So these people they are getting more and more interested in Bitcoin, and then when they come into the space, actually they invest more, and the order size is bigger. I did a radio program the other day in Hong Kong in Metro Radio. Actually a lot of audience they asked about. Oh, I want to buy like a 500,000 Hong Kong dollars Bitcoin. It's actually very small position for these kind of like sophisticated investors, and then but their questions is always comes to is it safe? Can
Mm-hmm.
How can I keep my key? What is
Mm-hmm.
blockchain actually? I just want to buy Bitcoin, but I don't want to lose
Yeah.
my money because of the security issue. So like I think like for in Hong Kong, the investment appetite towards Bitcoin is really good, but the investor education is still like building up. I think like they need to understand more why is it safe, why the Bitcoin or blockchain is safe for them, and then like what is a trusted asset and platform for them. I think everything still like goes like start at the starting point with a Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's good enough for these people. I probably don't talk too much about DeFi and this kind of assets to them.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, the regulators are starting to pay attention to the space, but different jurisdictions have different rules. How are you having to deal with that as an exchange, and how are you still trying to reach, those crypto investors in those different jurisdictions?
Yeah, so it's actually a very challenging task for exchanges to enforce this regulation and compliance practices across various jurisdictions, because we have users from all around the world, and then like different jurisdictions they have like different compliance process, and then so for us we try to be very self-organized and self-regulated. So this is our bottom line to do that. And then we are also looking very closely at the regulations and the compliance guidelines in the target markets that most of our users they have. And then like right now we see actually the regulators are very eager to implement strict regulations because they want to protect the retail investors. So like this is something we see. At the same time, there are some jurisdictions that have more hands-off approach, like Hong Kong, because they want to also keep the door open to innovation. So crypto is often portrayed as the enemy of the state, but even in Venezuela, the government experimented with petrol. So I think that like I think the governments they are actually like they want to promote and also encourage technology innovation. So I don't really see that like they are reluctant to for blockchain or like crypto development. Actually, I see this as an eagerness for them to benefit from crypto. So in some countries, that means like letting entrepreneurs or startups um, uh, to be there to develop their crypto or like a blockchain business. While in other countries, the government even like adopting or exploring how it can serve their government functions or economy as well.
So I'll note that AX is based in Malta. Why Malta? Why not Hong Kong? Why not where you're operationally based? What was the thought process there? And is that something that your customers are thinking about?
Yeah, we have like multiple licenses, and then like Malta is actually one of them because when we try to serve the global audience user base, actually we need to get different licenses to serve them in jurisdictions and different regions. So for Malta, actually like last year when we started the application, Malta government or like their department is actually very proactive, and then we talk to their people and they see the vision and they have the vision to see like how blockchain and crypto can grow and also can benefit to the country. And then we actually see that Malta had a very brave attitude to embrace a lot of new technologies and new economy stuff. So like that's why we try to apply for the license there.
A lot of other jurisdictions are absolutely catching up, across Asia and around the globe. And so regulatory adherence is one thing. And then now you are attracting the kind of institutional interest. Certainly, the entire industry is attracting the kind of institutional interest that provides a lot of liquidity into the space. Where do you project this industry going in a year, in 2 years, in 5?
Yeah, we are seeing that like there will be more and more institutions and retail customers. They will adopt Bitcoin as their portfolio diversifications, and then we see that because of the regulations that are in place, so the institutions they kind of have the green light to put in more money and allocate more capital to digital assets. But what I see the institutions they will first probably only invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum in the upcoming few years, but not the altcoins. And then like we see that like in Hong Kong recently, like there are some exchanges there's an exchange they got the license to operate to serve but only for institutional clients or professional investors. That's a very good sign for the industry because some licensed entities in Hong Kong they can invest in Bitcoin through the this channel. And we also saw that like recently like there's some listed Nasdaq company like MicroStrategy putting more than 400 million US dollars to buy Bitcoin at a pretty high price actually. So these are the things that like we are seeing like more and more institutions they're adopting and embracing Bitcoin, but they are not really like moving to buy the altcoins. What I see is that they will still focus on Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, and then like this market will be more and more, and then we will very soon like hear more and more news about institutions buying Bitcoin, and they publicly like announce it. Oh, I got Bitcoin in my portfolio. So this is what I saw in the future for institutions in near future. So for the retail market, what I see will be like more interesting in the space that it will have a lot of like gamification things like happening in this space because the crypto generation is most of them they're millennials, they are gamers. A lot of them they're very interested in playing games. So what we see will be like a lot of innovation and a lot of innovative ways of like buying, owning, or like staking crypto. And these are the retail users they love chasing about. Before the newbie, they will start with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the next step they will jump to different kinds of like methods of staking more, or like saving or getting more digital assets.
So this is actually a great opportunity for a retail investor to actually learn how to do it. So say you have a little bit of cash that you want to invest into the digital assets market space. How do you start? What are the things that you should be thinking about? What are the things that you should be careful about? Give me some good tips, Thor.
Yeah. So like buy your first Bitcoin and then like keep it very, very small position. Maybe just keep $100 and then like go to any kind of like OTC or like P2P platform or go to AAX and then you can buy your Bitcoin with $100 and put it in your position and then you can see your Bitcoin price every day. I think you have to keep your position so that you care about it and you keep looking at it. If you don't buy or if you don't own your digital asset, it's just other people's stories. But if you own it, this is your own story. Everything starts there. And you see your Bitcoin price going up and down. And then if you start reading more and more about news, and then like you do more deposit and withdrawal, transfer, you try everything and you are familiar with the process. And I will suggest you to buy more Bitcoin first. And then at the point that like, you understand more, and then you can try other digital assets. But for most people, I would suggest them to only buy Bitcoin to start. And then if they feel that like, okay, Bitcoin is not going up, or they want to cash out for a bit, they don't have to cash out immediately with US dollars or Hong Kong dollars. They can sell the Bitcoin for USDT stablecoin, so that like they can exit the crypto market for a while, and then like if they see Bitcoin got some opportunity, they can buy it again with USDT. So for the beginner, I would suggest them to buy Bitcoin with maybe $100, and if you want to exit and take a break, change it to USDT, and if you want to get in again, buy BTC. And they don't really need to cash out and get their dollars back actually, and just keeping.
Yeah, you don't, because the USDT is essentially a stable coin that is tied to the actual value of the US dollar. So equivalently, it would be a similar thing, but on the platform, it's regarded as something easy in and out. What about custody and insurance? What happens if I have a position and something happens on the platform? Do I lose out? What happens to the retail investor and their position if those positions aren't guaranteed once it's executed?
So there are a lot of like licensed custody in different jurisdictions that we also work with. So like if the holding is big, actually like we chance to put their digital asset in the custody, so that like the custody is regulated and licensed, so like they don't need to worry about the asset they lost and then what would happen.
So is it a hot wallet situation? Do I trust the platform? Is it a cold wallet? What are all of the options that are available that a retail investor should be thoughtful about?
Yeah, so like I think it really depends on the trading style. So if you are buy and hold, I would advise you to put your digital asset in a cold wallet. Maybe just put the paper and the keywords into your safe and then keep it there and don't move. And then like revisit your safe maybe after 10 years and you see that the Bitcoin you can buy an apartment. So like, but if you are a frequent trader and then like you buy and sell very often, I would not suggest you to put it to the cold wallet, because it's not very convenient and very time consuming. And if you are a frequent trader, probably just put your money in and out on the exchange and trade. And then if you after the trading, if you're out of the position or you stop trading for a short while, you just withdraw money to your own wallet. I think you can do that.
I think what's exciting about this space is that it is creating new markets. There's liquidity, which means there is a buyer for your seller and vice versa. And so this is really creating a new asset class. And I'll wrap things up with something that we've noted from the former chairman and CEO of NASDAQ, Robert Greifeld, of course, saying that 100% of stocks and bonds trading on Wall Street today could be tokenized. And in 5 years, 100% of the stocks and bonds on Wall Street will be tokenized. Do you think we'll get there? 5 years. Everything is tokenized.
Yeah, I think the tokenization really brings the ownership to the virtual world and furthermore to the physical world. So like the tokenization, this process is actually, in terms of like technology, is very mature, and also like a lot of people, they have a lot of like good solutions, and smart people, they are pushing it to do it. And then it's all about regulation. And then I think that like in US or like in some mature financial market like Hong Kong, the security token or tokenization is actually something that they keep looking at it. So like when we look at like 5 years, it could happen a lot of things. Actually, like maybe like we can see more tokenized assets even earlier. So like we also see that like some assets they are transferred. They're tokenized. They're being tokenized already, like gold or real estate. And these are people setting very, very good examples on how it works and how the tokenization brings in like some values to it, because these assets can be easily transferred to other very quickly, and then the fractional trading is easy for this kind of illiquid assets. When they see more and more benefits and values, actually like people will suddenly pushing it for it. I foresee that like for those like markets with good regulations in terms of like tokenization or security tokens, this market will have a much faster development for the tokenization of like bonds or like stocks. So like these are all the assets to be tokenized. We all have the solutions in the industry. I think like the blockchain industry is very, very excited about it. It now comes to the how we set this up step by step with a good record, and also like how we communicate with the stakeholders in the business, and then like when they see the business and they will jump into it very quickly. So 5 years can everything can happen.
You're absolutely right. In just the short amount of time that we've spoken, it's already changed. Thor, thank you so much for that update. And I truly believe that at some point, crypto exchanges and traditional exchanges will be exchanges, period. It will mimic what we're seeing that is distinguished in this space. But I think in the future, we're going to see each other look very much the same. So thank you, Thor, for those insights. And for more, of course, check out our Forkast.Insights digital assets market report for that education and that deeper dive. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this latest episode of Word on the Block. I'm Angie Lau, Forkast.News Editor-in-Chief. Until next time. If you like that, come back for more. All you have to do is click like, always comment, we love that, and subscribe. And don't forget to watch the next one.